South China Sea is not at all an issue because the freedom has never been affected. And also, it is groundless to criticize China for affecting regional peace and stability through construction activities. Since China has never taken any proactive measures, in fact, the disputes in the South China Sea has been there for decades. And over the past decades, the region has been peaceful and stable just because China's great restraint. So I think China's activities are legitimate, reasonable, and justified. So my question is, recently the U.S. has taken some measures, such as harsh criticism towards China and even military reconnaissance activities, even military threat. So my question is, does these measures help to resolve the disputes in the South China Sea and maintain peace and security in the region? Thank you.
Thank you. A few things. The first is the questioner is correct that there are other states claimant in the South China Sea and than China. And so this is about a bigger principle and not just about one country. It is true, as I said, that China's recent large-scale activities are unprecedented.
We're from CCTV News. Did you answer a question in English? We haven't heard you speak very good English just now. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Carter said that China should stop should halt the construction of the islands project. But today he says all relevant countries should stop the construction. Do you think he's setting his tone down today?
Yes, I think so. I think it is a more balanced judgment about what's happening in this region. Last year I was here at the same time, and Chuck Hagel, when he criticized China, it was very harsh words. And this year, Carter's speech, I think, is more balanced and more objective. So I think it is a welcome step for China, and it is helpful for the building of the new type of China-U.S. Major country relationship, and also it's helpful in improving the mill-to-mill relationship between the two countries.
So what do you think should be the PLA's response for what is setting going down?
I think we welcome the U.S. Secretary of Defense. He is, coming down his tune for criticizing China. I think it is good for the further mill-to-mill relationship.
Thank you very much.
去年是说这个韩日双边会谈的日方主动提出要请求韩方好像今年在美国的这种斡旋下，因为他之前卡特是既访问了日本又访问了韩国，你觉得有没有可能这种美日韩三边或者日韩三边的可能？
我觉得在某一个场合、某一个事件的框架下，美日韩三方坐在一起并不难。难的是长远看，日本如何解决他们两国之间的顾忌，这是日本要解决的问题。我觉得对韩国的影响大不大？所以说一时一事上三个国家坐在一起，不能说还是要看长远。看长远，它不解决这些根本矛盾，坐在一起是面核心不同。
看不见，下面一片黑暗，看不见。南海航行安全，我觉得南海的航行安全，中国比美国关注的多，因为通过南海，通过马六甲海峡，通过南海水域的船只，60%往内走，中国重大项目，所以对马六甲海峡安全，我们的关注远远超过美方。 而且我们对南海的航道的安全，我觉得从我们这个总体来说，中国一直是在南海航线安全是非常负责任的。所以说呢，我们为什么讲南海航线安全在这个题目上为命题？因为南海航线一直是很安全，一直在各大国的保护之下，包括中国，它一直安全。至于中国在岛礁上的建设，我觉得我们可以想象，南海多少平？数百万平，200万平。那么呢，塔特先生今天讲到了2000公顷，我不知道塔特先生数字从哪来的，是不是跟真实数字一样？我说这个面积，你以南海数百万平的影响比较起来，那是非常小的。而且中国，我们讲我们在南海建立这样，在南海建立这样岛礁上的进行建设，我觉得我们首先要看到，我们这种合法性，我们没有违反国际法，我们是在国际法允许的范围之内进行这种建设，包括国内的海洋评估、环境评估全部都进行，而且这样的我们是不一样，我们是滞后。你看看前面我们迟了30年，那么前面周围的很多国家都搞了这个建设，我们往后退了3年，我们是这30年呢，我们提的是就是共同开发，但是我们最后非常遗憾看见别人来进行竞价盈利，我们一口竞价，50多个礁盘有人去守的，我们只守了7个，所以在这种情况下，我觉得大家注意我们这个会议，我们是被迫进行这样。
I'll take the question then about the Great Wall of Sand. I made that comment a few weeks ago in Australia at a conference of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. I don't think that I was overreacting, and I think the focus of many of the questions by many of the participants in this entire conference, not just in this particular panel, focuses on Chinese land reclamation activities in the South China Sea. I think that it's important to consider the basis for the land reclamation activities, and that is that China claims the entire South China Sea, or at least 90% of it, as territorial waters. We take a different view of that in the United States, and we view the South China Sea as international waters, as do, I might add, most of the countries, if not all of the other countries represented in this room.
尊敬的徐福曼博士、女士们、先生们，早在2012年，中国国家主席习近平基于对人类未来命运的深邃思考，郑重提出构建人类命运共同体的重要理念。时代在前进，我们不能身体进入21世纪，而脑袋还留在过去，留在殖民扩张的旧时代，停留在冷战思维、零和博弈的老框框内。在处理与有关邻国的海上争议问题时，中国始终从维护海上安全大局出发，尽管对有关权益拥有充分的历史和法理依据，拥有不可争辩的权利主张，但仍一直保持着高度克制和忍让，为维护地区乃至世界和平稳定做出了积极贡献。当前，南海总体形势其实是和平的、稳定的，南海航行自由，不存在任何问题。中国对南海部分岛礁进行的建设，主要是为了 完善岛礁的相关功能，改善驻守人员的工作和生活条件，满足必要的军事防卫需求。我再次重申，相关建设完全是中国主权内的事，合情、合理、合法，应以公正客观为准则对待国际上发生的事情，应根据事物本身的是非曲直做出评判，不能凭自己主观好恶好恶，用双重标准说三道四，挑拨离间。希望世界各国都能本着合作共赢的精神，加强沟通协商，共同维护和平稳定。谢谢大家。
As a country with permanent military bases in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, whose ships and aircraft will continue to fly and to sail freely everywhere that international law allows them to do so, in order to fulfill our responsibilities to contribute to security in the Asia-Pacific region and to work with partners in the region. And that is why, for example, after our naval task force, which made a protocol in Shanghai, continued sailing, it sailed through the Paracels in the Spratleys these last 2 days, actually, fully exercising its freedom of navigation as international law allows it to do so, and will continue to do so.
So my question to you, sir, is China prepared to work with Vietnam and the Philippines in particular on a confidence-building measure of a moratorium on continued landfill, and more importantly from that, given your stated goals of peaceful development and safeguarding fishermen and people on those facilities, is China prepared to commit not to station offensive power projection weapons on those islands? So, 谢谢.
Chairman, I also have a question for Admiral SUN. Admiral, I was very impressed by your pointing out that some outdated ways of thinking need to be changed. You mentioned ways of thinking that were associated with the era of colonial expansion and also with the Cold War. My question is whether there are still ways of thinking associated with the concept of a century of humiliation that also need to be reconsidered. So specifically, my question would be, do you agree with former President Johnson, who in a speech many years ago now at Party Day celebrations declared that the century of humiliation was over? Or do you believe that there are still issues, still legacies of the past that need to be overcome before China can believe that the century of humiliation is over? And if so, what those legacies and issues are?
The question will be to Admiral SUN as well. China's policies and actions in the South China Sea are widely seen by many of the same partners as being the polar opposite of this global policy. Exclusive rather than inclusive, weakening mutual trust rather than reinforcing it, zero-sum rather than win-win. Now, how do you explain the contrast between these divergent perceptions of China's policies by many of its foreign partners, and not simply by the United States of America?
Thank you, John. I have a question for Admiral SUN. The United States has expressed concern about challenges to freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. And you have stated quite clearly that China's presence in the South China Sea, its operations, its construction, is not challenging freedom of navigation. But it seems to me that there are several of these land features, for example, Mischief Reef, Subi Reef, which are located within the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. They used to be submerged reefs called low tide elevations under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. And yet when U.S. aircraft flew near these land features a week ago or so, China said that these aircraft were entering China's military alert zone. That's not a phrase that I think is very clear under international law. I don't think militaries use it. So I'm wondering if you can explain why you insist that China is not challenging freedom of navigation. And when can China clarify its claim, its dashed line claim in the South China Sea, the ambiguity of which is seen as one of the sources of tension in the South China Sea? Thank you.
Admiral SUN, sir, could you confirm whether China is trying to create an alternative route for Strait of Malacca? And if so, what is the objective? And secondly, what is China's response or reaction to the American-Indian coordinated move to provide security in the Indian Ocean region as well as South China Sea? Thank you.
There is a strong consensus in this part of the world that China will sooner or later declare its air defense identification zone over the South China Sea, utilizing the Chinese construction on the South China Sea. And in my understanding, the Chinese spokesman does not rule out that possibility.
Admiral SUN, you've said today that China's policy is to pursue win-win cooperation. In the example of the South China Sea, it seems that Chinese actions are pushing smaller nations to coalesce and against China's policies and to seek U.S. assistance, to push back against Chinese actions. My question is, if the South China Sea policy is an example of win-win cooperation, with whom are you cooperating? And who else besides China is winning?
Admiral SUN, you have omitted the phrase rule of law in your presentation. Could you explain why and maybe comment on this? Thank you.
There was a collection of questions on the South China Sea, on how your principle of win-win operates in the South China Sea. There were some specific questions about the term of art military alert zone and how you can guarantee freedom of navigation.
各位代表，我看了一下时间，已经基本没有了。原因是，一是我刚才发言的时间长了一些，再一个呢，大家提的问题时间也非常多、非常长很多很长。我只能非常简要的对大家的问题做出一些回应，可能不能使大家满意。实际上，我在会前已经对南海的问题做了系统的准备，但是时间关系，我不可能按照我的准备来回答大家的问题。其实我在刚才的讲话里面已经很多的回应了这个问题，坚持将包括全面有效落实南海各方行为宣言，推动制定南海行为准则在内的机制、规则建设作为管控有关争议的有效手段，这就是一个共赢的安排。我们中国和军队服理不服霸，信理不信邪，绝不要指望我们会对歪理邪说和强权霸权屈服，也绝不要指望我们会吞下损害国家核心利益的恶果。我这里还要表示，对美国代表以及相关代表在中国南海主权权益的一些挑拨离间的说法，对中国合法、合情、合理的岛礁建设进行别有用心的指责，表示坚决反对。有关南海问题，中国发言人华颖已经在昨天进行了一些比较系统的阐述。关于防空识别区的问题，中国政府和军队从没有说过即将划设南海防空识别区。要不要划设防空识别区，取决于空中我们对空中安全是否受到威胁和威胁的程度，以及各方面综合考虑。当前南海形势总体就是稳定的，有些人炒作这个问题是没有根据的。我只有这么一点时间 我简要的对大家的做一个回应，可能不能使大家满意。关于在南海问题包括我在刚才讲话当中，实际上对很多的问题已经做了回应。我说你信不信我说看行动。
Admiral, thank you very much for that response.